Good afternoon and welcome to our first Mayor's message for the new financial year. Here we are, July 1st and half the year gone, and boy oh boy how that's flown by. I'd like to start today's message by reflecting back on some discussion last week where we spoke about the mud on rural roads and urban roads, in both cases, just trying to alert road users that there are slippery conditions out there and to drive to those conditions. Unfortunately, on social media in particular, some people took the opportunity to, personalise council's concerns and to raise the ire of some farmers, and quite rightly. Farmers are doing it tough right now. COVID is hard enough in itself, but when you've got one of the wettest autumns on record, and quite significant hardship to deal with, the last thing our farmers need is a council that is causing some angst and concern. So apologies, that was never the intention, and nor do we intend to wave the big stick. What we do want to do is raise concerns with road users, ask them to drive to the conditions, but also to encourage those people who do impact on our roads in an adverse way to place signage on the roads to alert road users that there are changed conditions, and to do all that they can to work with council to keep the roads clear, and that's very much happening. Farmers are working hard as they can, along with their normal duties, to keep the roads clear. And again, I just want to reiterate, the message wasn't meant to cause angst or harm to our farming community. It was just about highlighting that issue and raising the concerns with road users more so. That being said, one of the big news items for our council during the past week or so has been the release of a report that highlighted Latrobe as the number one area in Tasmania for population growth in very much, regional areas. A great report for us to be heading up, but also to see Kentish at number 3. So the two councils that have formed the Municipal Alliance are leading the state in terms of regional growth. And that's a great credit to not only our councils, but very much to our staff, our management team, and to our general manager for the work they're doing in promoting growth, in planning for the future, and in making sure that we are set to take up any and all opportunities to encourage people to come here, whether it be residents, whether it be business, whether it be developers, and all comers. Very much open for business, and that's the attitude that's being prevalent throughout the past few years in particular. So great result and very pleasing. One of the interviews that I was party to about that issue was very much about highlighting the livability of the Latrobe Municipality, and it's a really easy word to use, as I said in the radio interview, but it encompasses so much. The council is so focused on providing footpaths, for example, where kids can walk or ride to school, both at Port Sorell and Latrobe, and we're looking at other opportunities for schools in our municipality. As late as last week, we had discussions with a principal of a local school about the options that might be possible for her school. So continually looking at that as an example, but also playgrounds and the work we're currently doing up at Bosworth Park, which we spoke about previously. The work that was done some years ago down at Bells Parade to provide a fenced-in play area for mums with young kids, and to save that angst and worry about looking for where their young children are while they have a chat. That fence certainly provides some safety and security for families, and it's a great asset to that area down there. Likewise, we're looking at improving our parks and playground opportunities at Port Sorell. The Banksia Centre development certainly incorporates some facilities around that area. Again, we've identified land in Bradshaw Street in the new subdivision down the end of Bradshaw Street for a significant sized, I think it's 4,000 square metre park for residents in that area, so where the kids can play and have cricket matches or whatever, and not be constrained by very close fences and adjoining residential property. It's been part of a strategy. It's just not something that pops out of thin air, and we're constantly reviewing and looking at, as I say, the livability of our townships and what we can do to improve that livability. Another example is, as late as this afternoon, I had discussions in Shadows Cafe with a couple of ladies who were very concerned about the closure of the Strathdevon Hydrotherapy Centre, for example. And council certainly doing some work to consider what options there might be to have that reopened under a different structure, and what role we as a council might take in the ongoing management of that facility. Very early days yet, no promises, except that we are committed to exploring any and every opportunity to reopen that facility in conjunction with the owners, the Strathdevon community up there, and also those who have a real role to play in potentially using that facility. So we'll explore that and we'll provide more information once we've done our due diligence. Again, much is happening, so much is planned. Developers are coming to us regularly over the past few weeks in particular, more so than at any time previously, and much of that's driven by the federal and state government's provision of that incentive to build new homes or to renovate. A great initiative. Certainly we're seeing the benefits of it in terms of inquiries. People are talking openly about building homes, people who weren't previously considering it. People are talking about building rental properties, for example, all of which we'll hope will provide that stimulus into the economy to ensure jobs in the construction industry, but also all those jobs that are, I guess, reliant on the construction industry, people who are concreters, tilers, pavers, hardware stores, timber yards, concrete manufacturing plants and the like. There's so many aspects of the community that are reliant on construction industry, and I think it's a great initiative, and we'll certainly do what we can to support the government's efforts to provide that, I guess, that incentive for potential home builders and homeowners. Also, very clearly, we're seeing an interest in new developments, as in subdivisions, and right across the coast that's evident, but also here in Latrobe. We've had significant growth for quite some time, but continuing to see staged development of the major subdivisions in particular, out at Hawley Beach, another couple of stages planned out there, and 2 on the drawing board and ready for construction down in the Cowthorpe subdivision owned by the Joe Cromie Group. So very positive times, development happening all over the place, but again, it needs to be planned, and it does create issues for council in terms of infrastructure and services. For those who are interested, and I'll probably finish on this one, there is work happening with the senior sits. The last thing we wanted to see as a council and a community was to have the senior sits fold. We are very closely working with a small group of senior sits to see what the options might be to help where we can to manage the facilities down there and to provide an opportunity for senior sits to continue to gather and to get the benefit of the activities that the Senior Sits Club does provide. So it might be a new model, it might be rejigging the way in which things are done, but certainly council will play a role and is keen to play a role in ensuring those activities do continue and that our senior sits are provided with those opportunities. Again, open to feedback, any issue. I do encourage members of our community to touch base with their elected members via phone, personally or whatever, via email, and discuss those issues which are concerning you. I know there are plenty, but also raise any opportunities or suggestions you might have to make Latrobe an even greater municipality in which to live. Thank you for your time, and please take care. Continue to abide by those guidelines around the coronavirus and personal hygiene and the separation when you're out and about. Keep the distance and keep well. Thank you.